Hello everybody.
Hello.
I'm Ledz. This is Jack. We asked, Mike put up a thread on TechPB so people could ask questions about Ego11.
Yeah.
And we got lots of questions. So thank you very much for making the effort to send in your questions. What we've decided to do is we've split it up into two sections. Well, I've decided to do this. There's a lot of questions about the solenoid, so we're going to do another video just about your questions about the solenoid on the Ego11. These questions here are just general questions about anything to do with the Ego11. If your question doesn't get answered, we just don't have time to. I mean, there's hundreds of questions, so we've just sort of collated as many sort of quick ones as we can. Really,
going to do 10 minutes. Going to time it 10 minutes because it's a bit.
Yeah. If we do 10 minutes, then
two 10-minute ones, hopefully.
Yeah, and then we'll cut it off. Hopefully, we'll get through as many of these as we can. Mike also put up one of his jerseys, I believe, for a prize for the first. Basically, the first
question
one
read out.
So I decided to, the person that I'm going to read out first is called Jack Barrett. His TechPB login is still haven't met. Reason being his questions were just quite sort of varied, and he's actually put a bit of time and effort into it. So I thought, well, he can win the jersey. So well done, Jack. And his name's Jack.
I know.
Do you like that?
Great name.
Okay, right. So question one: why is
I haven't seen any of these questions again, by the way. So
Jack hasn't seen these questions, so. And I can't read, so this could be quite funny. Okay, why has the trigger frame gotten so much smaller? What do you think? Do you think it could affect larger players? See, I didn't think it got any smaller. Doesn't it?
It's not really any smaller. Well, it depends whether you're talking about a trigger frame or the trigger guard. The guard's about the same size as it's always been, and the actual trigger frame is height-wise it's the same. It's a bit thinner around the middle section. But the bottom section is the same thickness, so where you actually grip it with the palm of your hand is the same. So I don't think it is actually any smaller. What is different is how high up it sits on the body. It sits a lot higher up into the body.
Right. I suppose, I mean, to elaborate on this question and answer thing is that, you know, if there are people out there that sort of feel that there's, you know, they have problems with the size of something like this, then we'd actually quite like to know.
Yeah.
You know, if there's 50% of the people out there saying that the frame's too big or too small or too whatever, then it's good feedback for us to know, because, you know, we can only use our hands and you know, the people out in the field, and we never hear of it. So.
We obviously have to go. You can't make one gun that fits everybody's hands. You know, it's got a case for 12-year-old kids up to 60, 70-year-old blokes, and you know, giant, huge.
Why do that? Do your hands expand when you're older?
Like your ears.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Right, okay, cool. These are still from Jack. He says the Pops ASA, is it going to come out to market on its own?
Yes.
And it says, would the aftermarket version be mounted with a rail or the bottom line holes?
It will come with both. I think. No. I think what we're going to do is we'll have the Pops on its own will come with the T-rail. So it'll go on to any 07 onwards Eclipse gun. So it'll have the T-rail on the top of the Pops, and that'll come on its own. And then we'll have a separate rail that you can buy if it's going on a non-Eclipse gun.
So it can fit on everything eventually.
Yeah,
buy the two parts.
Buy the two parts and then fit it on it.
And that's coming out quite soon, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they're in manufacture yet. We're still in production.
By the end of the year, sort of thing, isn't it? Hopefully, yeah. Okay. This is one I'll probably answer. Jack just wanted to know. He says on the board you have semi-ramped cap ramping. Why only these modes on a high-end marker like this? It says most people expect more on a board. Why no more modes? I mean, do you want to answer?
Yeah, it's a legality issue, isn't it? Liability issue.
Yeah, I just think we've, as a company, we sort of took the stance that a fully automatic gun paintball marker is just it isn't really safe in people's hands. I mean, I've seen people put down there, in the woods or in fields with long grass. I've actually seen them put down a fully automatic marker, and twigs or grass or leaves or whatever has pulled the trigger, and that gun's just been firing off at all sorts of rates of fire. And we
see multiple, see it all the time, accidental discharges everywhere in safe zones in the field, and with fully auto, it's just getting a bit ridiculous. It's a bit too dangerous, particularly with the rate of fire we're talking about. Somebody's got an on-capped full auto.
Yeah, I mean, it's a debate we've had many a time of which modes we should put in, burst modes and things like that. And
there's other modes like all the cheap modes that you can get on different aftermarket boards. Obviously, we're not interested in putting any of those on. All our sponsored teams just use bog standard boards. We're really strict on that. So every team, whether it's Dynasty or Vicious or any of those teams, they just use stock factory boards. They just use standards. Semi-automatic or standard PSP. They've got no cheat modes in there at all. They're not allowed to use aftermarket boards. No sponsorship.
No, there's no need to, is there?
No.
Why would you want to put a downgrade board in your gun? There you go. Okay, right. There was more questions from Jack Barrett, but to be honest, we're probably nearly at the 10 minutes now, so we better get on with this. So sorry about that, Jack. Okay. This is from Dalton Brannick. How was the idea of the macroline on the Ego11 thought of, and will it be carried over to future Planet Eclipse markers as well? Don't know what that means, really.
No, I think it means about like straight fittings and the angle on them. Well, people have been asking for a long time for the fitting coming out of the front of the ASA. So when came up with the design for the pops, it was quite easy to incorporate the straight fitting coming out the front. So we did that. The problem you then got is you've only got a very short distance from the front of the pops where the fitting comes out of that to the inline regulator, and it made much more sense to have the fitting going in at an angle into the inline regulator. So I made a new swivel that takes one of the screw-in fittings, and that was it. So it was the shortest route between 2 points.
Anyway, so now go on the markers. I mean, I guess
would have thought so. Yeah, people like it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, certainly the higher end products, I'd expect to see it going on to that. I don't know whether it'll go through onto the E-Tech at this point, because the pops is actually quite a lot more expensive to manufacture than the old tubes. So I wouldn't imagine it be on the more
mid-range.
Yeah.
Okay, JD Larson.
Oh, hello.
No, do you know? Right, okay. With the size of paintballs continuing to reduce in diameter, are you planning to reduce the smallest bore size of your products? You've put 685, which is what we currently have.
Yeah.
Any smaller than the shaft force, such as 689. Now, just before Jack answers this question, in here there's loads of people asking me questions about bore sizes and what we're doing and why we've done it. And one of the questions is, will they be able to get other bore sizes? So this is the shaft 4 boost kit. This is going to be a. Can you zoom in? Yeah. Okay. Basically, this is the boost kit. Comes in a nice box. This is going to be available real soon. It comes with 2 backs, and they are. You won't be able to see this, I wouldn't have thought, being on the black, but 685 and 693, that's what we're classing as our boost kit. So you can go smaller and you can go bigger. People keep asking us questions of why we're going, why do we still have a big one. This is what we sort of call our shoot all barrel. It's less, it's better for crappy training paint, high humidity sort of, super.
And don't forget, just because paint's getting smaller in America doesn't mean it's getting smaller all over the world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't, if you've only got one barrel, if you go to Desert Island with one barrel, you probably want to take the bigger barrel, wouldn't you? Because then at least you can play. Yeah. So that's coming out. They are going to be coming out in different colours as well. They're not going to be tons and tons of these, so when you see them, grab them. They are colour match wise, as we always say to people, it's impossible to match colours identical
Need
to
to go faster.
batch. So they're coming out soon. Also a 16-inch tip.
Yes,
and
to answer the question, yes, we probably will be doing some smaller size ones in the future. Yeah, it's just quite a time-consuming process because we have to get special tools made to go for different sizes.
Got on page 1. Okay, Anthony.
We can stretch it to 15.
Okay, Tharia. Okay. He wants to know if there's going to be a trade-up program for the Ego11. No. Does the 50 cal kit fit the Ego11?
Yes.
Yeah. Any word on a closed bolt marker?
Well, like a cocker. No.
Okay, good. Right, I just highlighted that because it amused me really more than anything. Good. Okay, what's these questions? This is a question that's been asked by loads and loads of people, but the person I've got it down on here is Crazy Little. What parts are backwards compatible between Ego11 and Ego10?
Jesus. Bolt.
I don't know why people would want to know this.
No. Bolt, barrel, rammer.
He says, I'm also very much hinting at using Ego11 parts on an Ego10 or 9. Just buy Ego11.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right, better.
Okay. Well, some of them are. I mean,
you get a solenoid, don't you?
Yeah.
Ego11.
Don't talk about solenoid. Time's up. Right, okay, we'll carry on.
Yeah, we'll do it in a couple of minutes.
Somebody is asking, Nick Muzzio is asking, have people accidentally pressed the pops on off pin?
And Domi Polo from TechPB username. What? Sorry, what was the question?
How do you know that?
Which one are you reading?
This one?
Oh, no, it's not a story. It's Nikolai at TechPB.
Alright, okay, alright.
What?
He said he's worried about pressing the pin on the pops.
Yeah, never had somebody do it.
No?
No, the pops have been out there, been used in the field for, well, I think since about, certainly before the start of this year, and the last year we started field testing those.
Yeah.
So they've been in the field for months and months and months. We've never had an accidental depress.
It's not like it takes a long time.
It is countersunk, so you can't. You actually have to stick the end of your thumb into the hole to depress it. So.
He also said, which I thought was a strange question, why hasn't the Ego line started using multicoloured displays?
Like what?
Well,
it does have multicoloured displays.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was a bit of a strange question.
Well, it's a multicolour backlight that we have on the Ego. It's an LCD technology display. You can expect to see a multicoloured display sometime in the future, I would have thought. I think Flash is working on it at the moment.
But I mean, you can change the colours to whatever you want. I mean, he's saying it looks really like an old 1980s LCD watch, but you can change the colour to red, blue, green, pink, black. I mean, it's multicoloured, isn't it? You change it to whatever you want.
Yeah. People have got this thing that OLED is better than LCD when it's not actually any better.
Well, it is if you're in a darkened room.
Yeah, if you're in a dark room, it looks really nice on an OLED. But the LCD works in low light and bright light because it's transflective technology, so it actually gets easier to read the brighter the sunlight that it's in.
Yeah, I'm skipping through some of these that are a bit boring. This is from Brad Dalman. Dalman. Sorry, Brad Dalman. Sorry. Do you ever plan on making an internal air gun like the Bob Long guns?
Internal housing. I'm surprised only one person's asked that.
They haven't. I've just deleted.
Oh, right,
if more than one person's asked it, I've only put the first person who asked it.
Yeah, when we can come up with a solution that I'm 100% happy with. All our guns, I like to make them really tech friendly. That means you can take any of our guns apart, gas them up with the frame off, check solenoid for leaks, check all the internal components, and then not happy that you can't really do that with a internally hosed gun. As soon as I come up with a solution to get around that issue, then and obviously make it small enough as well. Yeah.
So we have to say at the end of this, TechPB to the front. So
to the front. Oh, just need to stop it.